The topic that we're going to be discussing today is this idea that control equals money. He looked right at me, dead in my eyes, and he said, Aaron, control equals money. Figure out what you have control over and double down on it. Keep tinkering with it and making it better. If you give up control of your revenue stream, you're extremely vulnerable. And then after thinking about it myself, triangulating ideas, I came to the startling conclusion that control over the last 10 years has been slowly but surely being taken away from real estate agents. Because whoever controls the lead controls how much it costs. Hey, by the way, are you in control? You're not in control. Who's in control? They are.
About 4 years ago, actually almost 5, I had the pleasure of meeting this man at the first brokerage I was at. And back then I was a brand new agent. I didn't know if I was going to make it in this industry. I thought, I'll try it. Doing everything my broker told me to do. I wear my name badge everywhere, but nobody ever asked me, will you sell my home? So back then, Aaron was going to a lot of different brokerages, and what the brokerages were having him do is train agents on how to do more deals. So I had the great pleasure of being in that room. It was the first prospecting clinic I'd ever been to. Anyone in this room think of cold calling as a sin or disgusting?
You should all raise your hand because you don't do it.
Everybody's hand should be up right now.
Yeah. I used to say things like, the phone is too cold for my hand. I don't need to do that. Because I thought it was above prospecting. But for some reason, I just wasn't making any money in the industry. It wasn't just going to come to me. And I got to see him with these agents who were the top agents in the office. Some of these people were doing $100 million in business. Some of these people you guys have seen on TV. And what he had all of us do was get on the phone, no matter how scared we were. No matter how scared we were, he said, you get on the phone, set an appointment. I will not let you leave until you set an appointment. Has anyone ever had that experience in this room?
Yes.
All of you should be raising your hand. But what was cool about that is I was at a point in my life where I had to produce money. If I didn't figure out a way to make money, I was going to be in a very bad position with my family as a mother. And because of what he taught me, I was able to move here my first year in Texas and close 52 transactions. Just a few. So what I wanted to do was not gatekeep. I wanted to share the source with everyone here in Texas because I think it's something that will help all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Aaron Novello.
Yeah. Hey, give me a hug, man. You're the best. So, clap it up for Jessica for putting this together. And my intention in the short amount of time that we have together is to make this a productive use of your non-refundable precious breaths on this planet. Because I'm aware that the hour or an hour and a half that we spend together, you're never going to get back. You've chosen to be away from family, friends, loved ones, I don't know, business. So you'll be able to determine at the culmination of our time together if I have delivered on that promise. And as I was really thinking about what could I share with you guys that would really help you the most in this short period of time that we have together, I started to reflect on kind of experience with agents, right? So I have the good fortune, I coach a bunch of agents across the country, and we have this organization with 410 agents, so I'm talking to them all the time. And 2023 and 2024, despite what you post on Instagram, was challenging. Yes? Because transaction volume dropped from 6.5 to 3.9. And that's a fact. Yeah? Now, when I say that to people, are like, well, you're being negative. Like, that's dumb. Because you're just not, don't confuse the truth with negativity just because I don't like it, yeah? But I need to be able to address what's true and deal with it. That's how I'll be able to get what I want in life, right? So, the topic that we're going to be discussing today is this idea that control equals money. I always find it fascinating when I'm on calls and they're like, why did you get in this business? They're like, I love houses. I'm like, oh my God, you haven't been in enough houses. Or they're like, oh, I love people. I'm like, bro, yeah, people who deal with people all the time, she's chuckling like, you have not met with enough people, okay? The reason we do this is to make, I'm sorry, am I in the right room? The reason we do this is to make, it's not illegal, guys. It's okay. Just so you know, selling's legal. You can sell as much as you want, okay? And money's not bad, just that doesn't control your heart, right? So this idea that control equals money, and this came to me, this concept, while I was on a cruise with these two gentlemen. Now, some of you guys probably know who this guy is. Anybody know who this guy is? Grant Cardone, right? 10X rule, growth con, be obsessed or be average, Cardone Capital, yeah? I would venture to say very few people know who that guy is. Which is super interesting because that guy is on the Forbes 400. You know what that means? He is one of the richest people on the planet. Not your city, not your town, not your state, not the country, the world. He's worth $12.9 billion with a B. Ba-ba-ba. Okay? And while on this cruise, I'm in the gym at 4 o'clock by myself, and who do you think strolls in? Bob Duggan. Now, I mustered up the courage to go speak to him. Yeah? I actually heard my wife in my head like, you have to go speak to him. So I did. I went up to him, didn't want to bother him, like, hey, Bob, is it okay if I ask you a few questions? He was like, sure, super gracious. I proceed to talk to one of the richest people on planet Earth for 30 minutes. Okay? And I start to ask him questions, and some really key concepts came from that conversation. One of them was this idea that control equals money. And it was a response to a question that I asked him. I said, okay, if I am an entrepreneur, if I'm a business person, I'm a CEO, yes? CEOs' jobs are actually to allocate resources, human and financial. They have to decide what's worth stacking time on top of and putting money towards, yes? So I said, hey, I'm a CEO. I have a couple companies. How do you determine how to allocate resources? What's worth stacking time on top of and what's worth putting human and financial capital towards? You tracking? When I say you're tracking, you say I'm tracking. Are you tracking? Yes. I'm tracking. Okay. He looked right at me, dead in my eyes, and he said, Aaron, control equals money. Figure out what you have control over and double down on it. Keep tinkering with it and making it better. Now, any of you guys besides me have ever heard something that you knew was powerful but you didn't know why? Yeah? He was like, control equals money. I was like, wow, I have no idea what that means. Yeah? So then after that conversation, I had no notebook. I had nothing in my phone with me. Yeah? So I run back to the room and I'm like scribbling down notes as fast as I can. I'm like, control equals money. What does that mean? Control equals money. What does that mean? And how does that relate to us as real estate agents and our industry? Yeah? Because as a leader, I'm no longer responsible for the results. I'm responsible for the people that are responsible for the results. And I came to some conclusions, and then I started to triangulate ideas with believable people. Believable are people that produce the outcome that you want to produce consistently over an extended period of time. So one of them is this guy named Angel Garcia. Angel, I've coached him since he's 20, he's 31. He did $800,000 in revenue last month. He has multiple businesses that are multi-million-dollar businesses. So I call him, hey bro, what do you think control equals money means? Here's what I think it means. What do you think it means? Yeah? No, I'm not asking you. She's like, don't ask me. I have no idea. Okay? Then I call my other brother from another mother. Some of you guys were here. How many people saw Jose speak? Yeah, he's dope. Jose Morales, I've coached him for 10 years. He did $2 million in revenue last year. $2 million. It's a lot of money. He owns 57 doors. He's 37 years old. I say, hey, bro, what do you think this means? Right? And then after thinking about it myself, triangulating ideas, I came to the startling conclusion that control over the last 10 years has been slowly but surely being taken away from real estate agents. I'll explain to you clearly and specifically why that's happening and how it's happening. The good news is there's a solution to it. How do I know that there's a solution to it? Well, my first calendar year of selling real estate, I made a whopping $13,000. That is not something people put you on a podcast to talk about. They do not say, hey, Brent, how did you make below the poverty line exactly? They don't pay you to teach them how to do that, yes? Why did I only make $13,000 in my first calendar year of selling real estate? Because I was being told things that made it to where I wasn't in control. They told me to sit in open houses. Let me ask you a question. Are you in control at an open house? You got to wait for people to show up with your cookies. Yes? They told me to put my name tag on and smile at people at the grocery store. Are you in control when you do that? They told me to farm a geographic area. Wait for people to come to me. Yes? Look. Yeah, they told you that too. And because of that data being poor and I wasn't in control, I didn't make any money. Because control equals money. Oh my God, you guys are getting this. Okay? But then I got access to some guides. Yeah? And they started to point out to me, hey, here are some skills you can stack time on top of that'll put you in control. Here are some lead sources that you can spend time with that'll cause you to be in control. Once I got that data and information, I went from $13,000 in a calendar year. Next year I did 17 deals, then 50, then 75, then 89, and 100. I did 100 deals a year for 10 years in a row, and 200 deals a year twice. This is where you clap. So, I believe that everybody in this room, if you have a clear understanding as to why control is being taken away and specifically how it's being taken away, and then you're given a blueprint on how to regain control and stack time on skills, you could do everything I've done in less time. Okay? One more. So I've spent the last 17 years of my career, I sold 2,000 properties personally. 80% of that business was listings. I started a coaching company 10 years ago that was recently named this year by Housing Wire, top 25 coaching companies in the United States for agents to learn what to say and how to say it. Thank you. I own part of an office. I sold it back, and in 2 years and 10 months, I've attracted 410 agents to the Elite Builder Nation from coast to coast. So what we're going to do in our time together today is we're going to spend time, A, very clearly and succinctly, how control is being taken away. And then B, specifically a blueprint on what you need to do to regain control so that way you could do more deals in 2025. Who's up for this? Say aye. I'm sorry. So I did not come here from Florida. You did not get dressed up today for that level of energy, okay? So high energy equals high income. The energy you bring to information is the energy that you're going to bring to it when you're revisiting it. Yeah? When you're in your office like, oh, that was cool. Or talking to your significant other. So I'm going to ask you again. Who's up for doing more deals in 2025? Say aye. Aye. Good. And we want to maintain that level of energy during our time together, okay? So, one more. If you give up control of your revenue stream, you're extremely vulnerable. Think about that for a second. If you give up control of your revenue stream, you're actually very vulnerable because whoever controls the lead controls how much it costs. Hey, you notice the energy in the room when I say that? You know, cost. Next slide, please. So, what actually happens? What's been happening over the last 10, 15 years? So essentially, when there's a race that happens. At the beginning of the race, somebody signs a contract, yeah? At the end of the race, there's a closing. Let me ask you guys a question. Where are people going before they start the race to sign a contract? The internet. Where do they go after they close? Back to the internet. Interesting. Huh. Some very smart people recognize that that's what's happening. So what they did, next slide, next, is they've created two separate business models as a result. Yes? The first model is they actually want to work with those buyers and sellers. They want to actually do the transaction. That's Redfin. That's Zillow. Yes, I'm noticing heads nod. Yes? Okay. Wait, go back. We're working with it. We don't have a clicker. Go back. Back. You sped through. What are you doing? You speeding me up. It's all good. So these two separate businesses were created, right? The second business that pops up is they're not interested in actually working with the client. They just want to sell you the lead and take 35%. HomeLight, Fast Expert, Effective Agent, Agent Pronto. Yes? Yes. Okay. And what they're actually interested in is they get injected into the deal with the referral fee. They let you do all the work, but then they have you use their ancillary services, mortgage, title, escrow. And if you don't, guess what they say? Do you like getting leads from us? Because if you don't use our stuff, no more weeds. Hey, by the way, are you in control? No. Even though you're posting your stupid key at closing? You're not in control. Who's in control? They are. Okay? I don't know what's happening. Why is it sliding through? Okay. Yeah, so you're just an employee in their system. So now, right now, we have two choices to make, yes? On terms of where you go as an agent. One choice is to be on a team, yes? Who, by the way, who's in control on a team? The one providing the leads. Or you could do it on your own, yes? Okay, those are our choices. Continue. So here's the team path. You guys ever see a mama bird feed a baby bird? You know what the mama bird does? Oh, they go hunt, they chew it up, and they spit it in the baby bird's mouth. Yeah? So this is the team model. Now here's the challenge with it. There's two costs. One is the split with your team. The second is the referral fee. The agent doing all the deals, how much money do they keep? Look, heads nodding, almost nothing. You're doing all the work and you're getting paid a referral fee, yes? $10,000 commission, you're making $2,000 with your silly picture. You're not in control. See? Next opportunity is you're an individual agent and you work with these third-party vendors. Yeah? Zillow, whatever, all these places that you get leads from. Well, the problem is that they cost 30 to 40%. So you do more work and make because you're not in. Interesante. For those who speak Spanish. Continue. Now, the reason why this is about to radically change, have you heard anything about these TCPA rule changes? Which is fascinating because we're all agents here and we know minimally about it. So the way that those platforms work, so remember, like people go online first, they go on the internet, and these companies catch them, and they either want to do the deal with them or they want the referral fee. Well, in the past, they were able to get people to opt in, and when they opted in, they can sell that lead to an unlimited amount of people. Have you ever got leads from them and they're like, yeah, we only give it to 3 people? You're like, that's BS. Because they've had 30 people call them. Yes? Yes? Because that's what they're allowed to do under the current rule changes. We just got an 11-month grace period because the rules didn't go into effect. They were supposed to go into effect in January. They're going to go into effect in January next year. Yeah? You know what the new rule says? If they get somebody to opt in, they can't sell it to an unlimited amount of people. They can only sell it to one person. And they have to tell them who it is. What do you think that's going to do to the cost of leads? Massively increase. Because they used to be able to spread that risk over multiple different people. Now it's only one. So they got to give you all the expense, plus they want to make money. So agents that are doing this, what's going to happen? Oh, I'm going to make it way worse because I'm not in control. Because I gave up control because I want to be a baby bird and be fed. Yes? That's the problem. Continue. Yeah, this is what's happening. They do, current model is one to many, new model, 1 to 1. You see it? She just went, oh, wow. Yeah. That's what's going to happen. Okay, continue. So, what does an agent in control look like? An agent in control has multiple different lead sources that allows them to be in control and not pay referral fees. Yes? But this requires that you actually have what? Skill. Requires that I'm not just an order taker. Yes? But we don't like that because I got to give that up. And I don't like to look stupid at first. Guys, you don't get more because you want more. You get more because you become more. That's how it works. Okay? Continue. So, in order to understand, everybody's clear now on how control is being taken away? Yes or yes? Yes. Okay. Now we're going to have a conversation about how you can get back control. First, we have to understand what's happening in the market, though. This is what's happened. Transaction volume went down 28% year over year from 2023 to 2024. If I was to ask this room, some of them know the answer already because they speak to me all the time, but for those who don't, what was a better time to sell real estate? 2008 during the Great Recession and financial collapse, or 2024? It's not a trick question. Like, what do you think?
You would think 24.
Everybody would think 24, yeah? There were less transactions in 2024 than there was in 2008. So if you sold real estate and if you made it, if you're sitting in this room and you didn't get a job like driving Uber, maybe you did, I don't know. So yeah, you sold real estate during one of the most difficult times to sell real estate, last 15, 20 years. Okay? But we're doing this, guys, when that environment changes, you keep doing the same thing. Is that dumb or dumb? You thinking that you don't have to change what you're doing in order to get the same results you were doing previously, is that dumb or dumb? It's immature. It's financially immature. It's like business-wise immature. Continue. Okay, so check this out, guys. You can either survive in the jungle or you can live in the zoo. Yep, take that in. Now, what do we know about animals in the zoo? I'm sorry? They get fed. What else do we know about animals in the zoo? They're docile. They are not free. And they wait to be fed. It's on the feeder's calendar. Huh. What do we know about animals that are in the zoo? I mean, excuse me, that survive in the jungle? Sorry? They hunt. How often? Every day. Otherwise, you don't? Thank you. Now, listen to me, guys. Listen very closely. Most of us just want to be fed. Deep down. But when you do that, you give up what? And freedom. Because what do we know about the animals in the jungle? Are they free?
No.
In the jungle, they are.
Whoops.
Hey, by the way, they're also dangerous. Are they highly skilled?
Yes.
100%. Now, making that transition from the zoo to the jungle, if you put an animal that was in the zoo and you try to reintegrate them into the jungle, what happens? They die. Would it be incredibly helpful if you had someone from the jungle to help you to make that transition?
Yes.
Because it's scary. Yes? But it's not our nature. Are we made in the nature of something that is encaged? No, we're not. Continue. So what do I need to do to survive in the jungle? What skills do I need? What lead sources do I need? What's actually working right now? Guys, when you go to these meetings, most people teach mindset because they can't teach tactics. They're like, hey, you can do it. You got to think positive. It's dumb. That's like sending you into the jungle with no skills, not anything. It's stupid. But you guys are like, oh yeah, you got to think positive. Yeah, that's great. I saw some meeting that this company did, and it was all memes, takeaways. God, you guys are going to starve to death, bro. Like, yeah, you got to find your magic. I'm like, bro. Really? Guys, we live in a time where you don't have to be competent to be famous. Our industry is full of people, we put them on panels and they're all broke. We go to people who have no following and make no money on media, and they're talking about media. It's crazy. So what do I need to do to survive in the jungle? Well, the first thing I have to do is I have to increase my skill set, because animals in the jungle are very skilled. Let me ask you a question. No BS. We're all family here. Nobody's going to make fun of you. Okay? This only works if you're honest. How many people role play every day consistently 5-6 days a week? Only the ones making all the money. Everybody else apparently is independently wealthy. Let me ask you a question. Are you praying for an A+ life with C+ habits? Oh, please, Lord. I'll be a good boy or girl if you send me a listing. And then you're not doing your part, yeah? When he fed the 5,000, what happened? Somebody had fish and bread. You have to bring something, yes? It was in the Bible when I woke up this morning. I didn't make it up. Okay? So Jose, who was here, he came to me. He heard me role playing. He heard me prospecting on a recording. And he was like, bro, I want to sound like that guy. He tracked me down for 6 months to get in my schedule. I kept pushing him off. Right? Because I want to make sure he's serious. He gets in my schedule. I teach him everything I know on what to say and how to say it. He takes that information. He becomes the #1 listing agent in Ventura County for 7 years in a row. Nobody lists more property than him. So the difference between an amateur and a professional is like the difference between your dominant hand and your non-dominant hand. Yeah? I played football in high school. I was a quarterback, so my dominant hand looks dope. If I start throwing with this hand, what does it look like? Ridiculous. I'm like, nah, like it didn't even look right. But if you're winging it and not practicing, that's what you're doing. You think you're that cool? Like, I find it amazing. Like, oh, you have a puppy, Erica? I have a puppy. We should be friends. You should wish with me. You know how mature that is? These conversations are worth $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, and you're winging it. Let's operate under the assumption you're not that cool. Let's operate under the assumption your personality is not that great. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so what do I need? I need a plan of action. 1, get into a role play group. I ask the question, how many people, hey, you run our role play group on the East Coast, yes?
Yes.
What will you do this year in GCI? Yeah, 280 to 300. That puts them in the top 10% of all. The company that I left, 130 agents, 10 made more than $100,000 a year. That's every office in the United States. Despite what you see on Instagram. And the gap was enormous. There were 6 people that made 100 or less, like right around 100. There was a couple people that made like 3, and then there's me. What do you think the difference is? Skills. Did you know that the average agent goes on 100 listing presentations and takes 20 listings? You just told me that.
Yes, sir.
Brent, share your testimony. What happened?
I was new to the market, and California boy coming to Texas, and went on 30 appointments and only took 2 listings.
30 appointments and took 2 listings. And then what happened?
In September, started watching Aaron, and since then I've taken 18 listings.
Ta-da!
Yeah.
Guys, we live in like a world where like we have such individualistic.
But only 7 sold.
We're working on that. So, but hey, 7's better than the 2, yes? And by the way, think about that. It's more than 100% increase. You have to get access to a guide that knows how to survive in the jungle. And he'll learn the price. We were just talking about that. I'm like, bro, you got to role play the price structure script. That's what you need to know. It's a skill. Yes? So get in a role play group. What I did when I realized that the money wasn't in the service, in the selling of the service, because check this out. Let me ask you a question. Do we all have a license? Do we all perform the same service?
Yes.
Yeah, somebody's like, no, mine's better. Hey, just so you know, we all use the same photographers. You post in the same places. Stop it. Like, stop with that. It's nonsense. Okay? Same MLS system. No, but like, I put my clients first. Bro, everybody, like, really? That's your competitive advantage? I'm honest. Huh. It's dumb. You know how immature that is? Like, okay, let me ask you a question. When you go to the grocery store, do you freak out when they have groceries? Are you like, oh my God, you guys have like chickens today? Why? It's what? Say it louder. Expected. Hey, guess what? Honesty is expected. Integrity is expected. You're supposed to know how to read a contract. Relying on that is dumb. You won't make money doing that. Okay? The money's not in the service, it's in the selling of the service. So therefore, I should learn how to sell the service all the time. But again, all you guys make too much money, so you don't practice all the time. I get it. I understand. So get in a role play group. Wait, go back in terms of plan. Thank you. So in plan, chant scripts. What I did when I realized this, when I made $13,000 in calendar year, and somebody pointed out to me, you need to be skilled to survive in the jungle, I role played twice a day, 6 days a week for 3 years in a row. I want to learn how to survive in the jungle. Do you know in my MLS system there were 20,000 agents and only 100 did more than 20 million in volume? That means you have 100 people competing for 20,000 people competing for 100 jobs. If you want one of those jobs, what should your role play schedule look like? How serious are you taking the skill of how to sell? I was the #1 listing agent in the entire MLS system. Chant scripts. I would stand in a room like this and go, hi, I was calling about the home that's for sale, banana trees. Is the owner great? My name's Aaron, I'm a local real estate agent. Sure, figured out by now your home came off the market. Inspired listing. I was calling. Over. People thought I was nuts, crazy. They would say, hey, I never see you out. I'm like, Brent, I never see you at the bank. Okay? And then find a guide. A guide is just somebody who's a little bit further down the path. Look, we connected because we live in this amazing time where now I can send myself in the digital form. I've never met him in the physical form before, but I was able to help him and assist him because he saw me as a guide to help him solve his problems. And he used the information and he's making money. That's amazing. How often do you seek out guides to help you? Or are you like, I got it. I'm so good. Continue. So, now here's the question. Where are the leads that I'm in control of? What's actually working? Yeah? Because let me ask you a question. If you go from, so I don't know if you guys know this statistic, 90% of everybody who has a mortgage right now has an interest rate less than 6%. 65% have interest rates less than 4%. You will shop on Amazon for 2 hours to save $100. Yes? I get it. She said, I'm not paying the shipping. And you think that people are going to trade their 4% for a 7%? To use Erica's words, that is insane. The only people that are going to buy and sell have to. So wait. Let's think about this. So if I want to find lead sources, wouldn't it logically make sense to go to the lead sources that have a higher degree of probability of people that have to do something? Yes or yes?
Yes.
Okay, continue. So the first one is niches. The riches are in the niches. So for me, that became probate. So the gurus in our industry, like the big coaches or whatever, they talk about what I call the 4 horsemen. Expireds, cancels, for sale by owners, just listed, just sold. That's all they talk about. And depending on the season and the flavor of the year, they just recycle it. Oh, expires are coming back, guys. Yeah? Oh my God, here's how you do FISBOs. Yeah? And it's not that two things can be true at the same time, yes? It's not that that's not a bad source. Wouldn't it make sense for me to spend all of my time to get the most effective use out of it in a pool of information where everybody needs to do something? So what would be life events where that's the case, where they have to sell? Divorce, 50% of the time it happens. Death.
Job transfer.
Job transfers. Huh? Diapers. Families. Downsizers. Moving into assisted living facilities. Yeah. For me, I chose probate. Why? I live in Florida. We have the largest elderly population in the country. I live in heaven's waiting room. Okay? And they all need help, by the way, because you know who pounds on them? Investors. And what are they trying to do? Steal that thing, baby! So once I made that pivot, I did 50 to 60 deals a year just from probate. But that would require you learn a new skill. Oh, but I don't want to, Aaron! I want to stay in the zoo. I want to do the least amount of work and make the most amount of money. That's immature, yes? Oh, but that course, it's like $500. That's too much money. Do you know we had somebody bought the probate course that I do? She took 2 listings in 60 days, made $37,000.
Sign me up.
Right? I have to learn something new. By the way, do you know what the second largest group of humans are in the United States? Like cohort? First is millennials. You know what the second is? Baby boomers. How old are they? Or older. So let me ask you a question. Will that be a rich source moving forward, continuing for the next 10 to 15 years?
Yes.
Yes or yes?
Yes.
100%. But it requires I learn something new. I don't get more because I want more. I get more because I become more. I need to learn a new skill. I need to learn where they get the data. I need to learn how to get their contact information. I need to learn what to say. I need to learn how to create ancillary services for them, right? Like clear outs, donations, handyman work, yes? Because they need help, bro. If any of you, how many people have experienced that where somebody passes and you have to like sell their house? Yeah. How stressful is that? Insanely. Because you're dealing with something very emotionally taxing, but then you have all this practical stuff you have to deal with, and all your siblings or all your families like this. Can I have money, please? If you're in charge, yeah? Right, a lot of times out of state. So if somebody can step in, take that off of your shoulders, put it on theirs, is that incredibly valuable?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, continue. So this video if you watch it, this guy is Heath. It's a free YouTube video where I'm teaching probate. Heath, I taught him everything I knew about probate. He was a part-time cop, full-time cop, part-time agent, okay? In 2024, he did 26 transactions as a part-time agent, 21 were probate. So this is only, yep, that's me. Only if you want to be in control will you do this, yes? Okay, continue. Second place to be looking for leads and opportunities. So how many people were selling real estate in 2008? Bro, look at this. This is why you guys have no idea. You think that like the last 10 years is normal. You've actually never sold real estate in a challenging market, which means you don't really know how to do it. But we confuse luck with skill, yes? Yes. You just happen to be selling real estate during a lucky time. We didn't have to be that skilled. A great market masks incompetency. Warren Buffett has a saying, when the tide goes out, you see who's wearing pants or not. Yeah? So the distressed seller, if you've read about it in history books in 2008, were foreclosures, yeah? Because what happened was people bought homes under the assumption that homes always go up in value, double digit. That's not true. With creative mortgage products. Do you know that there was a mortgage product where they could say, hey, Nicole, how much money do you make a year? And you were like, 150 grand. They're like, great, we believe you. No verification. They're called no-doc loans. And somebody thought that was a good idea and that wouldn't like explode, right? So then what happened was all these people bought these homes. The interest rate adjusts. They can't afford it. So then what they do is they start dumping homes on the market in high volume. When supply goes up, demand goes down, what happens to prices? Drops. Prices were dropping 30% like every year. Okay? Now, who's the distressed seller of 2024 and 2025? Who has to sell? Well, let's look at this. We have record number of credit card debt in the United States right now. The highest it's ever been in history. We have a record high of car loan debt, the highest it's ever been in history. And we have a record high of student loan debt. It's the highest it's ever been in history. And by the way, the last 4 or 5 years, have we experienced aggressive inflation?
Yes.
Just take your kids out to eat. No matter what they tell you, oh, we have it, oh, it's 2%. It's 3%. Bro, I took my kids to go get smoothies. It was $50. Yeah? So we've had 4 years of like double-digit inflation. When you add all that up, you know who the distressed seller of 2025 is? People who can't pay their bills. So for that reason, you know what's working splendidly well as a lead source? Cash offer programs. We'll give you a cash offer for your home. Now, you know who knows this really well? These big platforms, because they all have cash offer programs. Why do you think Open Door and like HomeLight and all these platforms have cash offer programs? Why do you think they do that? It's working, but they know only 4 or 5% of the time will people take the cash offer. The other 96%, do you know what they have? A lead that they sell to you for 35%. So wouldn't it logically make sense for you to do that for yourself? It's just a lead generator. Yes? Now there are companies out there that find people that want cash offers. They raise their hand. One's called Motivated Sellers. You should write that down. Because if you're going to actually pay for leads, would it make sense to pay for buyer leads or seller leads? Seller. All day long. Because who has all the leverage, the sell side or the buy side? 100%. So they find people who raise their hand, say they want a cash offer. Then you can call them, talk to them, ask them questions, pre-qual, see if they want the cash offer. If they do, buy it. Or connect with an investor and sell it to them. Yeah? If they don't, now you have a seller lead that you can list. I know you've never heard that before. No. You're in meetings where like, you can do it, Eric. Yeah, you don't even go. They have to give like cakes and cupcakes just to get you to come in. Because it's not valuable. If it was valuable, you'd show up, yes? Period. Most of their coaching that they provide, if it was on the open market, nobody would pay for it. They just have a captivated audience. Okay, continue. So this is why this program is working. Go ahead. So, I believe that the future of real estate is whoever adds more value wins. So most of you guys just go in there myopically, and the only thing you can help them with, what's the only solution that you have? List the home. How many people besides me have ever sat with somebody like, I don't care we get on the open market, I just want a cash offer? Yeah? And then what do you do? No, I can get you more money. No. Yes? That's like me going to a donut shop and I'm like, hey, I want this donut. They're like, no, you should have this other one. You should just give them what they want. But what happens? You lack the knowledge. Yes? So I'm limited in my capacity. I believe that the future of real estate are agents that not only understand retail, but they understand creative. They understand sub-2. They understand wholesale. They understand a myriad of other options, because then you can sit down with a seller and say, hey, Erica, here's what's true. I know you're meeting with agents in terms of listing a home. They're going to tell you that they have buyers. What I did, I have 2 cash offers with me right now signed. Now, I don't know if we're going to go with them, but I just wanted you to know what differentiates me from them is I actually have buyers. So we'll go over the options that you have. Could be those offers, could be listing the property. Whatever you decide, I'll support you 100%. Who's going to win? The one providing more value. Does that make sense? More solutions to their problems. Options and choices. A menu, if you will. So Jose, my business partner, he's been doing this for like 18 months. Those lead sources, he's listed, I don't know, 18 to 20 properties, but you know what? He did an assignment. He made $135,000 on the assignment. He did a wholesale deal. He made $80,000 on the wholesale. But you're like, well, I can whisk it for you. My photographers are better than their photographers. Continue, please. Okay. The other thing that's working, which you guys have, did you know that 20% of all sales last year were new construction? 20%. Okay. Why? Who wants to tell me why? Okay. So the median price of a new construction home is the same as a resale property. So you get a newer product for the same price. On average, those new construction transactions have 5% concessions, which means the buyer can use that to permanently buy down the rate. So not only do you get a new product at the same price, but because of the cost of money, it's cheaper. It's the only affordable way to buy a house. So because you guys have new construction, would it logically make sense to begin to prospect in that pool of people? Yes? I'll give you one awesome idea, and it's free. So a coaching client of mine, his name's Esteban Reyes. He's in Miami, and in Homestead, they have new construction. So we're on a call, and I'm like, hey, bro, here's what I want you to do. I want you to send an email to your entire database and say, hey, I'm holding a webinar on how to buy a home with a 4% interest rate. I'd love for you to attend. He had 50 people show up to the call. One person bought a house within 30 days for $750,000. Has anybody told you to do a webinar to your database? No, because you know why? The people that you're listening to are living in a world that existed 50 years ago. Not potentially, yes. Does that make sense? So that would be another lead source. So we got niches, yes? Yes. We have cash offers. Yes. And we have new construction. Okay, continue. So here's the deal. If you do what's easy, your life becomes hard. If you do what's hard, your life becomes easy. So what's easy? To live in the zoo? Yes. That's easy. That's why we choose it. Truthfully. You know the Bible says we would prefer to be lied to than be told the truth? That's true in my experience. Because when I'm told the truth, what does it cause for me? Discomfort. I'm not as fast as I think I am, as quick as I think I am, as cool as I think I am. Yeah? And usually when we're in the face of somebody who's giving us truth back, what is our response? We fight or push back or yell or scream or throw a tantrum. Yeah? Yes. That's what we do. So in this game of real estate, it's not the quickest, it's not the strongest, it's not the fastest, it's not the prettiest, it's not the ones with the most likes on Instagram. It's the ones that are the most adaptive to change. Yes? Let me ask you a question. Over the last year, 18 months, have there been massive change in our industry? Yes. Mm-hmm. Anybody notice that the buyer side commissions are variable a little bit? So if there's an offer and there's 10 offers on it, seller chooses best price, best terms, and best commission. Oh, I'm sorry, compensation. Hashtag thriving. It's like calling ourselves realtors. I'm like, what is that? It's like a dinosaur or something. I don't understand. Because you know what we don't want to say? I'm a salesperson. We hide. I don't like selling. I'm telling you, if you embrace selling, you'll make a ton of money. So, are all you guys very clear on how control is being taken away?
Yes.
Are all you guys very clear on how to take control back?
Yes.
Good. Are you very clear on the skills that you need to adopt?
Yes.
Very clear on lead sources that are working?
Yes.
So here's what I need you to know and understand. Those who don't read are no different than those who can't. Knowing and not doing is the same as not knowing. So here's what's cool. You guys will say, you didn't tell me. I'm like, it's on camera. I told you. You now know. So now all you have to do is do. And part of that doing is connecting with somebody who can help you do it. So whether you decide to participate in what we're doing or not, we're still here to help. So with that, we have some time before I hop on a plane. Do you guys questions, comments, concerns, observations, hallucinations, emotional overloads about what we discussed so far? This is where it's interactive, so. Everybody's like making the money that they want? Great. Come on, speak up. And when you ask a question, I promise you, the story of one is the story of all. So I think the first is like, you have to recognize that, like, okay, so physicians, they have tools, yes? Stethoscopes, needles, whatever. Carpenters have tools. Yeah, hammers, screwdrivers. What's our tool? So if you're going to make a commitment to this craft, you have to commit to the craft. So make a commitment to like really honing your skill set, because there's only 4 ways to grow a business. One is to increase leads. The second is to increase conversion. I just showed you how to get more leads, but what's going to help you convert more? You get better at what you're saying. I have a course. If you go to aaronnovello.com and go to work with me, there's a course that's labeled probate, where I basically teach you how to get the data, what you're looking for at the courthouse, how to get the contact information, what to say and how to say it, all the scripts, all the objections. It's the same thing I taught to Heath that caused him to do 21 deals in 12 months. And what I want you to consider is it's systems. So memory's not a system. If you don't have a system and staff, you are a high-paid assistant. And what we do, because 65% of us grew up in families that live paycheck to paycheck, so we heard things like, money doesn't grow on. Oh my God, you heard that too? Eat all the food on your. Oh my God, you heard that too. It got all the way to Texas. And if you want something done right, you need to do it your, which is the worst advice you could possibly get. Look at everybody who said that to you. What's their life like? Tiny. So what I would say with you, if I was working with you, is like, okay, I see the mental map. Here's what I would suggest. I'm hallucinating right now. I don't know. But I'm imagining when you do a deal, you're doing everything. Do you have people that help you? Do you have listing coordinators, transaction coordinators? Do you have all that? Do you have a CRM with SOPs inside of it? Standard operating procedures, like checklists that people can go down and go down the list. So like if you have a team and you can hand a listing document to them, they put it on the market, they do the whole thing, goes under contract, you send it to a transaction coordinator. For you, if you could list 2 of those a month and you make an extra $20,000 a month with very little involvement, like that's pretty good. And then if you can list the high end, you can list everything. Everything. It's just systems. So listen to what I'm about to say to you. Thousandaires think, what do I need to do? Millionaires think in systems. If you want to win once, you do it. If you want to win repeatedly over time, create a system. So what I want to do to maintain this level of energy, because the energy you bring to this is the energy that you're going to bring to it when you review it and you're talking amongst each other. Like, what'd you think? I didn't like him. I thought he was cool, whatever, right? I want us to bring that level of energy. So we're going to end this meeting the same way I end all of my meetings. I want everybody to stand up. And what we're going to do is something called 2 claps and a Ric Flair. Now, if you do not know who Ric Flair is, I feel sorry for you. Okay? The way this goes is I'm going to say, give me 2 claps and a Ric Flair. We're going to go clap, clap. And then you're going to let it all out like this. Woo! Like all out, okay? Don't give me that like, woo! No, it needs to be where like the title company's like, what in the world are they doing? Is that like a cult in there? Like, what's going on? Okay. On me. You guys ready?
Nope.
Oh, it feels so good, doesn't it? You feel that? That expectation, it feels so good. Okay. You ready? Give me 2 claps and a Ric Flair. Woo! Go have an amazing rest of the day on purpose.